Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So glad you're joining us today because we have some absolutely fascinating data to unpack. If you're someone who loves seeing how raw market growth actually translates directly into user benefits, well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're focusing entirely on the highly impressive performance metrics that have been coming out of Bodega lately. We're going to map out their recent market growth and, more importantly, break down exactly what their staking reward updates look like for the community. Get ready, because the numbers we're looking at today tell a really compelling story of momentum.
So, you know the brand Bodega, right? Well, right now this platform is having an incredibly strong month within the ecosystem. They aren't just quietly operating in the background anymore. They're making some serious waves. In fact, based on recent DApp rankings, they've successfully climbed the ladder to lock in the number 2 spot overall when you exclude DEXs. I mean, that is a massive achievement, and it sets the stage perfectly for the data we're about to explore.
But, seeing a top-tier ranking like that immediately begs the question, what exactly is propelling Bodega's recent surge to that coveted number 2 spot? Stuff like that doesn't just happen by accident. To really understand a ranking jump like that, we can't just skim the surface. We've got to look under the hood. We need to analyze the volume, the network activity, and the actual user adoption that's pushing them past the competition.
Okay, let's dive into this. Act 1. Bodega's market growth.
First up, 798,000 ADA volume. That's nearly 800K ADA. And folks, this is not a projection. This is the tangible, real volume flowing through the Bodega market right now. It's a rapid-fire metric that highlights some truly massive trading momentum. It tells us users aren't just visiting the platform to window shop. They're actively using it, moving significant capital, and generating sustained market activity. This high volume, it's basically the foundational bedrock for everything else we're going to talk about today. And to keep that momentum going, we pair that massive volume with our next metric, 5,200 transactions. This really puts the volume into context, right? Because it tells us that nearly 800,000 ADA isn't just coming from a handful of isolated, whale-sized trades. Nope, it's spread out over more than 5,200 individual transactions. That signifies an incredibly high level of network activity and paints a super clear picture of a vibrant, consistently utilized marketplace. To finish off this growth data sequence, let's look at the human element, or, well, the user base element. 223 new wallets. This is absolutely crucial. A platform can really only sustain high transaction counts and volume if it's continually attracting fresh participation. Seeing this expanding user base, with over 200 new wallets actively joining in, proves that Bodega's reach is widening. They are capturing new attention and actually converting that attention into active participants.
Act 2. How Bodega staking works.
So we've established the rapid growth, but how does this actually benefit the users directly? It all comes down to their amazingly simple staking engine. The mechanics are incredibly straightforward. Step 1, you stake your Bodega tokens. Step 2, you earn ADA. That is the whole shebang. The model doesn't force you through convoluted hoops or, these complex layered reward systems. By simply holding and staking the native Bodega token, you're positioned to earn the base layer asset, ADA. It's a direct, totally frictionless pipeline from participation straight to reward.
But you might be wondering, where is that ADA actually coming from? Well, this is arguably the most important mechanism to understand. Exactly half, 50% of all platform fees are distributed directly to Bodega stakers. This right here is why the massive volume and transaction counts we just looked at are so vital. Every single time the platform generates a fee from that booming market activity, half of it goes straight back into the pockets of the users who are staking. It creates this undeniably perfect alignment of incentives between the platform's success and the staker's yields. And here is the absolute kicker. There is no locking period. In so many staking models out there, to get a piece of the pie, you're required to lock your assets away for weeks, months, sometimes even longer, completely sacrificing your liquidity. Bodega has totally removed that friction. I really want to emphasize this heavily. There is absolutely zero lockup period. It gives you maximum flexibility. You get to participate in the fee-sharing economy and earn ADA, all while keeping immediate total control over your Bodega tokens whenever you might need them.
All right, let's move on to Act 3. Future staking projections.
So what happens when we combine these strong market metrics with a 50% fee-sharing model? Well, get this. Platform fees are projected to increase by roughly 200% this month. Just think about the compounding effect of that. Because the smart contract dictates that 50% of all platform fees go right to the stakers, a 200% jump in the total fee pool means a massive proportional jump in the ADA rewards being sent directly to the community. Volume drives the fees, and the fees drive the staking rewards. It's that simple.
Which brings us to a highly anticipated target. Thanks to that projected surge in platform fees, the Bodega team has announced they're officially on track to distribute roughly 10% or more in annual percentage yield for staking rewards next month. Earning a 10% plus APY in ADA purely from sharing in the platform's organic transactional revenue, that is a wildly compelling metric. It just clearly shows the power of their simple stake and earn model when it's backed by genuine surging market volume.
And that brings us to our final takeaway. Hold, stake, and relax. This is Bodega's own memorable sign-off from their recent update, and honestly, it hits the nail on the head. They've built a system that captures their rising market dominance and just automatically funnels it to the user base, completely without the stress of locking periods. It leaves us with a great final thought to ponder. As decentralized platforms continue to mature, is this direct, frictionless fee-sharing model the ultimate standard for user retention? Well, it definitely seems to be working for Bodega right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep analyzing the data, and I'll catch you on the next one.